I'm Shiva Shah, aka King Chi, and I am back with another tool for your toolkits. I'm out here in the fairyland, bringing you this live on my way back to the office. So, just taking y'all on a trip with me. Let's get into Dark Matrix Part 2. Wait for you all to tune in. As you jump on, let me know you're in the building. Where are you tuning in from? And let me see some black dots. Black dots. It's the blackout season. I want us to really dive deeply into what it means to tap in to the dark matrix. All right. A little nippy out here. I thought I was gonna go for like a little walk and enjoy the air, but y'all mother is definitely made for the tropics. Made by the tropics and for the tropics. I'm a jungle woman. Ashe. So let the notifications go out. Like and share this video so everyone knows that I'm live. All right. Put this out. It's been a minute since I went live out in nature, and it's kind of on a whim. Oh my gosh, the trolls. Hi, trolls. I love it. I love it. I'm starting to really enjoy how trolls show up. Feel me? All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Leave this out here. All right. So, what's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? If you're over here in the Northeast, you know it's nippy time of year. So let's start. The Dark Matrix. I was on my walk earlier this morning, really tuning into some of the things that are related to building from a dark matrix. And what does that mean? Well, of course, because I'm a woman and a mother, right? I fit the archetype for matrix, matron, mother in all ways. I'm a godmother. I am a biological mother and a mother in so many other different ways. And then, of course, for all those who have not taken on those roles, you are the child of a mother. And you yourself belong to or are a product of the matrix. When I speak to the matrix, I absolutely am not talking about this thing here. Okay? F this matrix. It's here. Who cares? We got to get beyond that. And a lot of the work that I want you to direct your attention to goes back to what's inside of you. What is your makeup? What's your matter? What's the matter with you? All right. And as a product of a matrix of a mother, because you had to come through someone's vagina, someone's uterus. Peace, faith. You get to get a glimpse of what that means. So I'll back up a little bit. The head start that the current mothers are going to have with this work is that you already know what it's like to create a living example of your matrix. Okay? Your matrix is the uterus, your womb. What you were carrying at the moment of conception, energetically, in your environment, in your thought process, okay? Your psyche, your heart, emotions, all of that are very, very present for you if you take a look because you have children. You look at them and they are living, breathing entities. And we're talking about getting in relationship with entities that are literally outside of our control. But that's because we did not move intentionally with the idea of, I want to control the outcomes of this in every way possible. So you look at your children, and if you have multiple children, you can look at the evolution, right, of your creating. Or if you're in the unfortunate circumstance that maybe the first time you did a really good job, and the next time you did it, you didn't. Hopefully, it's the other way around, because I gave it to you. Creating children is not something that has like a one size fits all type of handbook, playbook of how to do it. And to keep it a buck, like a lot of times the first time that we bring children here, we have all kind of like concepts, illusions, and all of that around what that's supposed to look like. So I'm going to take an educated guess and assume that most of the people who are here now probably have been in a space where they're like, all right, when I have children, I want to be able to have my energy a certain kind of way. I want my mate to be on a certain frequency and have a certain level of peace and magic about them, and scholarship, intellect, all of those beautiful things, right? I want to eat right. I want to be in this loving, juicy energy so that when I create, I can create a demigod. Press 1 in the chat if those of you who are here who have been thinking about creating again, talking about children, okay? If that's something that you thought about, either with the last child that you created or wanting to start a family now. Press 1 in the chat if that's you. Okay? Peace, Jen. Peace, Sachet. Peace, Zakia. All right. Now, I see a lot of moms talk about how spiritually inclined their children are, the different gifts that they've come with, and wanting now to be able to give those children who they see have certain aspects about themselves developed way further than the gifts that they recognize for themselves now. Okay? So, how do we really do that? First and foremost, I want to point to the fact that you have to make a choice. All right? You have to make a choice to know that without a doubt you have the power to unlock those things that you want to see reproduced. I'm going to tell you why that's so important. Because you can have every idea and intention, okay, of fasting, meditating, crystalline yourself all the way up, or whatever the fuck you want to put on your copper, your crystals, this, that, and the third. And then you want to do your mantras, then you want to breathe, then you want to do tantra with your mate, and then you have rose petals every fucking where, right? And still at the same time, you're a living piece of matter from a matrix you came from already, right? You're not really starting from a 0 point. So you have to first know that you're not starting at a 0 point. That black sheet of paper that I told you all to get, that black poster board, when you're going into creating, it doesn't matter what you've done, you're not really that black piece of paper until you get to a space where you can look at every single aspect of what you are, what you've created, and fearlessly say, I want to take that out. I want to cut that out. And the only way to cut certain things out is to stop living or giving that living force to that particular thing. It's not a matter of focusing in on a thing and saying, I want to stop this thing, I want to stop this thing, I want to stop this thing. You would literally have to delete it. All right. Before I lose you, 11:11. Okay? Simple things like when I want to clean up things in the materialization or the manifestation of how I produce projects. If I find that the smallest thing, like a printer that won't print the way that I need it to print, I want it to be pristine. And I wait on it. I wait on, okay, well, this part of the printer works. So maybe I'll just utilize the printer for these things. But I'll wait and see and deliberate between buying a new printer or getting this printer fixed. No. Decisive action says if this thing is broken, and brokenness means it's not functioning at its optimal, it's not optimal for my use, right? Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Period. Erase it. Get rid of it. Don't pay attention to it anymore. Fix it. So the decision, like for something like that for me, because I'm going to use my own examples, is the thing as a whole ain't working, right? That got to go. As a mother to what you're creating, you're going to have to get into that fearless space so that you can be decisive. When we're not decisive, it's because we're living in the space of fear. And I'm going to also bring up the fact that I see that so many people are attracted to this dark space, these dark entities, these dark this, dark that, right? They're attracted to it. One, on a subconscious level, they're attracted to the darkness because everybody wants a fucking clean slate. You can't get a clean slate with a white piece of paper. It's like it's never perfect enough because white gets dirty, right? You want to get to this space where you absolutely have nothing and you can start over. We want to start over because we fear that we're going in the wrong direction of what we're creating. And now, like, how can I do this right? Make sense? I've been doing all these things and I'm not quite getting there. So you're starting from a place already in a deficit. And if you're in a deficit, the way that the universe works is that if there's a deficit, something else has to come in. But if something else comes in based on the mindset of deficit, then you're going to recreate more deficit, more defect. And I find that it is very easy for y'all to overlook that. You can't come from a place of power if you're coming from this space of, well, I gotta fix this thing. You don't fix it. Throw that shit in the garbage. Throw it out. Throw it out and trust 100% that you have everything you need to reconstruct. But you have to be able to trust yourself to burn it down, to crumple it, sweep it out. Some of y'all think that you want to burn it down and like salvage shit. And in the salvaging things, you still are running with this current of like fear. I personally think that it's a scary fucking place to be in, to want to work with energies that are highly intelligent, who don't care about your human feelings. Your psyche is still playing games with you. And then you want to open up another book, but you have not closed the chapter before. All right? So when I say start with this black sheet of paper, I'm not talking about going into creating things from a womb space, right? And you still have traumas inside of your womb. If you still have hangups, you still have these lofty desires to create from your womb space, from this darkness, but you still have all of these attachments to the traumas, to the I gotta heal, I gotta heal, I gotta heal. You're not going to create anything that much more different. And it's a tough place to be in, only because we get afraid. Anyone who has made like huge leaps and bounds forward has had to go through that very destructive space of letting go, getting comfortable with that letting go, getting comfortable with being in the abyss. Now, outside of there's things in your life that you really like, you want to keep it. What you want to keep is keep track of what energy were you in, what mindset were you in when you created it, and how can you shine on it? How can you give it more gas? How can you give it more fuego, more heat, more fire? You tell me. How many of you, by pressing one, noticed that when you moved in a direction where it was absolute, the energy was absolute, I'm all the way clear that this is it for me, you saw results that were matching what you desired and saw? Press one if you had that experience. What up, Angle Man? There's like this piece or this what is it? They be like, if it's destined for you, then it doesn't matter what you do, it'll come to you, right? But it's pretty passive. I feel like the biggest energetic fuel pump to getting what you want is that if you want something and you step into it and it's not sparking, it's like you don't have the two stones that when you hit it together, it sparks. Can you go, okay, whatever it is that I desire, I'm going to go for it and take it. And if when I go to take it, there's this resistance, I'm not fucking with it. It's like you're either with me or you're not with me. You with me or you're not with me. And that play in between, you can't afford it. You can't afford it. There's a lot of losses in that compromising in between. So if we're going to move into the dark matrix, this is no longer your flexible vision board. You understand? We're not flexing, because anything that's materialized on the black board, that's exactly what it is. This is like Universe, I didn't come here to play. You're not here to play with me. I'm here to co-create what I desire. You feel what I'm saying? Not like this is what I desire and just like, okay, let's just throw it in the wind. There's an energy, there's a quality now that is coming forward that is absolutely necessary. Some of y'all might go with, all right, it's savage, but I still maintain that it's godly. Like, it's godly. The savage takes like a vulture. You think of savage animals, like something's dead, go eat it. I'm gonna go for it. Um, I guess you can think of somebody be like, oh well, a lion is like the king of the jungle. I don't really see the savage in it. It's it's majestic. It is direct. It is, this is my pack and this is how I move. It doesn't move in a wishy-washy type of thing. For those of you who follow any type of creation story, the story of God is not, um, I think I want it to be sunlight now. No, it moves in a space of absolutes. I want it to be light, light. What I love about the energy that I'm speaking from are facts. Okay. There are individuals who, thank goodness, I'm not my own witness. But we've been in spaces where when I say it's done, it's done. Done. And there is a visual thing that happens to show that when that energy is tapped into, it just is. As you speak it, it is. So I told y'all to get really clear about what you want. And I want y'all to look ahead at that vision and make a pact with any and everything around you, inside of you, that it is either what you desire or what you desire and better. All right? Because on a mundane level, if you say, I desire to eat really well and I want to have like the best, I don't know, halibut with some type of miso glaze, and I can see it, and I would like some mache greens and sweet potato, mashed sweet potato with a sprinkle of cinnamon and a little sugar on top of it. Okay? Somebody can present to you a really delicious prime rib, and you'll go, wow, this tastes really good. But it's not what you asked for. So you desire, and then someone will say, well, it's better. Like, it's more expensive. It's better than what you asked for. But even if it's better than what you asked for, who's better? Somebody else's idea of what's better? Or is it what you asked for? How about what's better than what I asked for is the exact halibut with the miso glaze, with the mashed sweet potatoes, with the cinnamon, with the brown sugar, and some freaking rose ice cream. That's better. That's exactly what I asked for. And dessert. That's the energy. That's the energy of creating from the dark matrix. The dark matrix goes from a clean slate and only is going to put on there exactly what they want. Sometimes there has been time, I haven't made a vision board in mad long. first of all, everything I've ever put out, I finally have achieved, right? But I did notice this. I achieved some things, but they weren't exactly the way that I wanted it to the T. And you have people saying, well, perfection is not really a possibility. But when I look at the beauty of the coral reef and the fish swimming in it, and the fact that they're not going to run out of food, the fact that they understand what it is that they are, and they're not thinking about, there is no more thinking about what am I going to do next. They're totally immersed in being a fish. They're beautiful as I don't know what. They don't have a makeup regimen. They don't think, oh, is there going to be more ocean today? Is there going to be more water? Right? No, it just is, and God created it, and it was perfect. So then you got to think about how we're created and that piece of us that constantly feels imperfect. So get yourself to a place of a clean slate. How many times have you given yourself that opportunity to say, all right, F what I did, giving myself a clean slate? The only learning I want to know from what I did before is that if I did something well, I'm going to continue to do it, and I'm going to get even better at it. If I did something that was corny, and anything that is not really like top notch what you desire is corny. Just talk to yourself like it's corny. All right, that was corny. I want to do something else. If it's scary, move in it. Because if you can't do scary in just regular living, don't do scary spiritually. That's my only warning for you. Just don't. Because you could easily just live and be satisfied with what you got. And some of y'all are just looking for some damn excitement because your lives are boring. But if your life is boring, that's your fault. If your life is not meeting your expectations, it's your fault. And are you okay with saying, however my life is my fault? You got what I'm saying? Because part of the reason why our people constantly run into these fucking brick walls is because it's always somebody else's fault. Somebody else did it. Somebody else is involved. Well, I want you to get to a place where they don't have any say so. They don't have any power over what it is that you are becoming, what it is that you are. Even if, right, we want to scientifically, right, you are the book that you came from, you are the matrix that you came from. You have more power. The only thing about the book you came from is that there are pages in it that you have not read from, you have not extracted, you have not realized are there. Why are these ceremonies so powerful? Because it gives you access to some of those pages that you're so ignorant of. That's why. Why is everyone jumping on the bandwagon of DMT and taking shrooms and all that other stuff? Because people are going, oh, snap. There's a whole nother reality that's actually playing out that I'm not tapping into because I'm so programmed. Like the grooves in your brain are so programmed and dug so deeply into one particular thing. Press 1 in the chat if this makes sense. How many of y'all saw Wakanda Forever? Because I want to use context that is present. You know what I mean? First of all, Wakanda Forever. That joint was popping. It's popping in so many ways, not just because I got to see all of my ancestry, you know what I mean? And if you don't know, it's just popping, right? So you got the mom, right? Namor's mom. Everybody's sick, everyone's dying. They're praying they get this answer, like to take this herb I'm sorry, spoiler alert. If you want to watch Wakanda and you ain't see it yet, spoiler alert, turn off this video, go watch it, and come back. But I'm gonna talk about it, right? They like take this herb that's gonna save us. We're gonna be able to change our environment. You feel me? Cool. Now the mom, she's pregnant. And this is I'm gonna continue to double down on the mother, the powerful, the powerful. I ain't giving it all away, but anyways, that's for you, Black Rose. The power of the mother. The mother always gets a chance to decide the fate. And that's what we need to understand. The mother has the power to decide the fate of the future. That's what it is. There's no question about it. That's it. All right. So if you have not tapped into that feminine power to decide the fate of the future, start with that as a meditation, as a point of your meditation. She's pregnant, there's an herb. She sees that there's everyone else is dying from smallpox. Shouts out to the Europeans, right? And her only fear is if she takes this herb, is it going to harm her child? Forget the fact that she's gonna die anyway if she doesn't take it. The mother's concern is always the life that she's about to give birth to. Okay? The mother's concern is always the life that she's about to give birth to. What I'm doing now, how is it going to affect the outcome of the future? And for her, she had the risk of I die now, there's no future, or I take the chance of securing the future. And when they said, yo, if you do this now, you'll still give birth. You're just going to be in a whole nother realm when you do it. She's like, yeah, I'll go with the option. I'll go with that option because that still means that I get to participate in bringing forward the future. It does not just stop here with me. Our job on earth is to bring the future forward. So whatever didn't work in the past, starting with the women, the dark matter, the matron, the matrix, whatever didn't work, we get to destroy it and we get to say what gets to go forward. If you're looking for anyone or anything else outside of what secures the future, you're already ass backwards when it comes to where the power lies. This is why there is such an outrage and a scream for the divine feminine, the divine feminine. I'm not saying the dark feminine, the divine feminine, divine meaning godly feminine. The godly feminine does not ask permission. The divine feminine does not compromise with anything outside of herself. They're like women are in every tradition, women are born with intuition. Women are born with wisdom. Women are born with the ability to give birth. Women are natural creators. Women are the ones that nurture. What we're doing when we nurture is we are choosing. We're choosing what we're going to give life to. You see what I'm saying? When you lay down and you take the seed in that's going to fertilize your eggs, when you sit with anyone, man or woman, and take in their ideas and you decide to put your gifts towards it, you are choosing the life of that thing, right? And when you see that you no longer think that that thing needs to have any more life and you decide to take it away by any means, it will die. Like, this is something that is natural. It's natural. It's natural to our being. So it's not saying, okay, we need to rise up and have savagery. Like, you know what's savage to me? Savage is the way that we treat each other, where we have the ability to nurture one another, to love one another, to empower one another, to support each other's ideas, to support each other's dreams, to speak on big ideas, to get creative, to brainstorm. We have the power to do that. What's savage is scarcity. We get into savage mode because we don't think there's enough. So we start fucking each other up. We start gossiping about each other. We start cutting each other down. We start side eyeing people. We start getting really paranoid and we're fearful. That's savage. A savage is fearful for life and they're in the survival of the fittest. You're in the survival of the fittest if we can love one another. So, what's so light about that? The problem lies in nurturing the things that are killing us. Follow me? When you get your black slate and you can start from scratch, don't continue to nurture the poison. Like, it's right in front of your faces now. And that is the issue. It's right in front of your faces, and you become so fucking docile and desensitized to the abuse and the trauma and the being misused and the being stabbed in your back that you think that if you become a backstabber, that somehow you're getting ahead. Don't bang with backstabbers anymore. It's such a waste of energy because whatever you're putting your energy towards, you're nurturing it. You're nurturing it. I have not sat in a room of millionaires and billionaires that are discussing people who don't bang with them. They're not discussing the uh what is it? Um oh, all kind of petty shit. Y'all name it. Name something petty. Name something petty. We gotta get beyond petty. Like if you are so traumatized by the animals around you. That's what I'm gonna call them. I'm gonna call the people who are so savage that, like right now, like the colonizers are savages. They're like fearful of not being in existence. So they have shown what it's like to be savage. They are going to only work with each other. They are going to uh like eliminate the distraction of thinking that they can bring everyone together. Goddamn, they're creating plants and foods and labs just so they don't have to depend on the fucking earth that they live on. And we're still fighting with each other. What a distraction. Like I'm over it. So when I talk to you about the dark matrix, I want you to take a step back and think, what is taking room in your creative space and in your womb? If you're thinking about sexual traumas you've experienced and you're still wishy-washy on how you want to deal with that, make a decision of what would best satisfy you and go with it. Forget everyone else's opinion about it and do that. If you can't find a place of forgiveness and eliminate and delete that file, then you need to go to its throat, cut it, and then move forward. This is just, I'm getting to this. It needs to be that clear. Delete what is taking up space in your creativity and what you want to manifest moving forward. If you are looking at working with energies that are going to take your command, you have to be a commander. You have to be the general. You have to have the organized mindset of how does this get accomplished? You don't want to pick up 10 energies off the bench and decide, well, you energies have the power to do this and to do that and get all wild and confused and shit, right? When the first thing that has power is this right here. Clear that up. Get to your blank slate. And the first thing I said for y'all to do is to find a picture, just one picture of what exemplifies what you're going after. What you're going after. Just one. A picture has is like 1,000 words, right? You look at the one thing and you're like, yeah, that's it. That's it. All right, so how do you get a blank slate? And see if there's some validity to this idea of non-attachment and what is the suffering of attachment. Let's talk about it. So facts. If you want anything, if you have a desire, you're attached to a certain outcome, right? It's in you. You want it. There's not anything that I've ever wanted that I already had. So I want to throw that BS out the window. Like, if I said I wanted a car, it's not because I was sitting in a car. It's because my ass was walking and taking the bus that I was like, I want a car. And if it wasn't for my attachment to the idea that I deserve a car, I want a car, I would not be going for it. The thing about being human is that we have various levels of thinking that exist in our brain, right? And we have to learn how to play the instrument. If I ever desired a meal, it wasn't because I was sitting in front of a meal. It was because I had the desire or even a sensation within me that said, I'm hungry and I desire a meal. From that place of desire, I was able to begin creating. If you don't have a desire, I would like for someone to prove to me, because this is the other part. I want you to prove to me that without a desire, without an attachment to an idea, because here's the bullshit I'm about to pull up, right? That everything just unfolded in front of you. Because even when I'm inspired by watching certain temples erected in the name of the Sri Yantra, the Shi chakra. That person may have put aside their desires to become a very successful quantum physician. But what was placed inside of them was yet another desire. And every single thing that they did and moved towards was being led by, well, Davy wants this to be built. And now I'm building it. And things around me are coming together to build it. And as detached as this supreme yogi master is, they're being driven by a desire, a vision, an attachment to something that they don't know how it's going to come, but they can see the final output. Press 1 in the chat if this has already crossed your mind. How the hell am I supposed to create the life that I desire without any attachment? Because you either like it or you don't like it. You're either satisfied or you're not satisfied. All I can hear in my head now is only a Sith speaks in absolutes. Sure. Can we master that though? Can we master that part first? Because there's too much wading in the water. There's too much wading in the water. And if wading in the water is not painful, then you'll just keep on wading in the water until your ass drowns. Because you won't get across the ocean. You're going to need to swim. All right. So you start from this black sheet of paper. And you absolutely put your vision towards what you want. That vision becomes so laser focused that the laser heat of it burns away all the extracurricular things that are not adding. Remember I said you want to be able to pull the bow and let the arrow go forward. The thing is that let me know if this is the case. And let's be honest with each other. You know what I'm saying? We having a talk. We having a talk, right? How many of y'all have been in this thing spiritually waiting for the divine vision of what you're supposed to do next? Press 1 in the chat. I want to see if y'all can be honest. How many of y'all have at least gotten to a place at least one time in your life where you're like, God, what do you want me to do? Press 1 in the chat. I'll press, if I could, I'll put 1 in the chat. I'll keep it a buck with you. My eyes are burning. It's the devil. All right, cool. We got some honest people here. What if I told you? All right, before what if I told you? I have my actual more question. Okay? While the sun is scorching my eyes. Okay? How many of you have gotten so pissed off about what is happening in your life in a certain moment that you got so angry that you said, F this, this is what I want, and your energy just started like hitting, and you got into this consistent mode, and things started to manifest? Okay. What if, now I'm going to go to the what if. What if I told you that that strike of F this. This is what I want. Is really when the God inside of you wakes up. You know how they like will tell you, don't don't get angry, like try to be even keel and peaceful all the time. God God is that moment where even in the tears coming down your face, because you gotta feel the tears. The tears sometimes that liquid lava, okay? It's the lava. It is the melting away of the BS that is clouding your vision, right? You start to cry, and it's just like the clouds open, and you're like, I don't want this. How the fuck did I get here? That's not what I want. That's God. That, my friends, is God. The very thing that gives you the power to say no, thank you, and to know exactly what you want to say yes to, that cuts the strings of any puppeteer or oppressor around you, that's God. The energy that has been constantly pushed at you that goes, that's the devil, that's evil, that's wrong, that's you were always wrong when we're not doing what somebody else wants us to do. Like that's what's always evil. What's evil is always evil to the other entity that does not want what you're doing. The mouse says the eagle is evil because it claws it and it eats it. But the mouse does not think it's evil when it goes and it eats another mouse if it's hungry. Press one in the chat if that makes sense. What's dope is when you can collaborate with other gods that are looking to create the same kind of world that you're looking to create. Because in y'all going for it, there's no evil there. There's no evil in cooperative collaboration. There's no evil in win-win scenarios. You get what I'm saying? What's evil is always going to be the energy that comes in and tries to take away from what you're doing. So if you find that you are being successful, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're minding your business, right? And someone tries to do something to distract you, that's evil. Like, I want you to look at it and go, you're evil. If someone comes and you're like being in a positive vibration, you're creating, and someone tries to bring to your attention some BS that's going to get you hype and like go that way, I want you to look at your friend or whoever it is that called you and go, you're being evil right now. And I'm winning. What you're trying to do, the energy you're trying to bring my way, is distracting me from what it is that I want to accomplish. Now, your evil can be met with my greater evil. My greater evil is going to be the fact that you want to connect with me on this low vibration, but I'm going to cut you off now. You got me? Because you're going to be, that's a greater evil. Like, I'm going to cut off my nurturing of this conversation. Okay? Like if I snatch food from your mouth, you'd be like, you a evil bitch, right? So that's where you meet evil with evil. Okay, I'm building, I'm selling my products, right? You can add to it, you can buy my products, you can support my products, you can tell other people about my products. All right, now we moving in some godly energy. Okay, there's some exchange there. I'm not gonna forget that you supported. I'm gonna keep on moving, right? If you come in and you have anything to say or do that will take away from that progress, you got to get slammed. It just is what it is. Do y'all see any do y'all see any hesitation in the evil that was maxed up on when Kanye made a statement about an untouchable group of people? No, you don't see that. I said, okay, whatever you're saying is going to be evil towards what it is that I'm doing, the power that I have, the pull and the touch that I have in my community, in my businesses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase my evil, right? And I'm going to come in and I'm going to snatch what I was nurturing in your lifestyle. I was giving you money and you was living a certain level of lifestyle. Now I'm taking it back. That's the kind of evil you need to learn. I'm going to nurture, feed, put my money into, or I'm going to snatch my money. I'm going to take my food, I'm going to take my energy, and I'm going to go elsewhere. So, as a people, when we talk about this dark matrix, starting with a clean slate, can you start from a space where, all right, here's my bindu, here's what I'm going for, except I am absolutely attached to this vision. And while I'm attached to it, like I'm going to put my umbilical cord, I'm going to create my umbilical cord, right? Boop, put it in there. Me and the bindu have an umbilical cord. What I eat, drink, think, do, activate is all feeding that thing. I'm nurturing it. And whatever else comes along the way, if it's not adding to that, then it's out of here. And as a people, we can collectively make those kind of decisions. It's decisive action. Does it work or does it not work? Do y'all have more clarity now about how we're moving forward? Because I just don't want to see. Don't just go with a wave. Be clear about what you're doing. Because being emotional beings fluctuating like, the new shiny thing, the new thing. Okay, I don't like this. I'm just gonna go this way. I'm just gonna go that way. Like, have some backbone. Have some clarity about what you're going to implement. Because when you go into deep waters, my friends, you're either going to sink or you're going to swim. Okay? Y'all ready? Are y'all ready for this? Let's see. I see a question here. I can't really see the whole thing. I see a question in regards to, I wonder if with destruction there is creation, what is built, or if desired destruction attachment is existing. Who ever seen perfect. Thank you. Who ever seen a construction project going on where the bulldozers are coming in, they're breaking down the materials, cutting up the earth, and there ain't been a blueprint put in place. I don't know what y'all experiences are, but tearing down land to build up a building costs a lot of money. All right? That's some 7 digits, 8 digits. There isn't an intelligent being on this planet who invests in destroying a piece of property without already having an attachment to a vision of what they're going to build. So if you're going to tap into your destructive energy, you want to be clear about what's coming next. This is common sense, folks. This is common sense. Don't just have the fire lit up under your asses and you decide to go out and destroy every possible lifeline you have and not have a plan of action. This is where you go into the abyss and you get lost. This is why you have someone hold your hand and be a lifeline to give you proper direction on the vision that you have. Because somewhere along the way, you need to have some type of blinder. Individuals who have gone through the Underground Railroad know that that's a trapdoor. That's going to take you into a maze. That's going to drown you. That's a snake in the ground. Take this. You're going to need to hold your breath. So you want to be clear. Think about this as a contractor. Put that kind of helmet on your head. So the same way how I got some ones in the beginning with the women, I want to start a family. Okay? I want to start a family. I want to live in this type of home. I want to experience this type of relationship or group of friends. Okay, perfect. Now, where can you find a clean slate? You might have to, at this point, get rid of some things taking up space there. You're going to need to look at what your resources are. What are you bringing? And what do you need to pick up along the way? But make sure you have your blueprint. And that's what we're creating with our dark matrix, a blueprint. You do not start to break ground until you have an approved blueprint. So you can think about it. You can think about what needs to be destroyed. You can think about how much space you need. You can think about how many friends you're going to need. You can think about how many professional relationships are you going to need. You can think about what kind of food am I going to need to be eating. You can think about how much time is going to need to go into this. You can think about what is the climate that I'm going to need to be in. Right? Think about it. I want you to think before you act. Because this is going to be a matter of exact execution. All right? And when it comes to these little things that pop up that are examples of evil, anything that's going to take nurturing away from what you're working on is an example of evil. Then you rise up, you chop it down, and take away your energy from it and keep moving. Okay? The only energy you exert is to nip it in the bud and keep moving. Easier said than done. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. Press 1 in the chat if y'all feel where I'm coming from. All right. So now, I said to post your materials in the group. If you're new here, welcome. Hi, I'm Chi Vitalike, King Chi. To some of y'all call me mother. Sure. I'll nurture some of you. Not all of you. This is a form of nurturing. But I'm nurturing my gifts. I'm nurturing what I desire to see in the world. And I'm staying by that. But when I say to post certain materials to see that you're ready, if I don't see that, what's the point? It's as if you're wasting time and you're wasting energy. You're wasting my food. I don't like to serve plates to people who ain't going to eat. If you're not going to eat, get off the table. It's just simple. So let me see that. Y'all have your black construction paper or your black poster paper, your white markers, because we're going to get into the power of white. And not white is right. White, visible light. Okay. And what comes next? So press 1 if you commit to doing that. We're going to see. Press 1 in the tab. You commit to showing that you are prepared to do your own work in creating your dark matrix. And don't be scared now. You either commit, you in it, or you not. You either with me or you against me. And yo, shouts out to everybody who completed that 21 day or still in it, but they committed to completing a 21 day Peachy Dosha, because there's some testimonials that need to be posted up in the group. Like if you got some money, if you got accepted to school, if you got a new home, if you got progress, you got accepted in certain programs. I want to see your testimonials. Testimonies, y'all all owe me some testimonials. Word. Like, I want to see it. So post that up. Post it up. You connected with an ancestor. Your ancestor started talking to you again when you was out here just alone and confused. I mean, like, I want to see. Write about that joint in the groups. House of Chi is still open, still popping, still moving. I want to see it. Okay? All right, y'all. That's it for me. I'll be back with some more sauce on how we're moving forward. Peace, love, and bliss.